He going over to Bloomberg. Bloomberg gonna run all these ads. They gonna push this, try to push this Democratic field more into the center, because the white ghost of voters that haven't consistently voted for them need them to be in the center. Well, they got a problem because they're gonna leave the black voters from voting at all. As I've said, my position is the same as Breaking Browns, is the same as we said at the conference. Down ballot Democratic. Understand, when I say down ballot Democratic, that doesn't mean that you have to vote Democrat on every single item down ballot. Let me be clear. When I vote, I've done it in 08 and in 12 and in 16. I didn't like the ticket at the top. But down ballot, you consistently vote Democratic unless you got a candidate that you fully research and you don't like their policies. I did that with Jackie Lacey here in Los Angeles. She was the Democratic district attorney. I didn't vote for her. I just abstained from that too. What I'm saying to you today is that the Republicans don't have a lot for us. What I'm saying to you today is, for our vote, you're going to have a lot for us. I want to have this discussion today. Please go to tonetalks.org, subscribe and donate, share this video. Let's get it.
Hey, what's going on, fam? So y'all just saw that clip that I've played before with Antonio Moore breaking down the down ballot strategy and saying that what it means is that you consistently vote Democrat unless you have done your research, meaning that you assume that the Democrats are your friend and you vote for them unless you've done your research. If you want me to go deeper into detail on exactly that, or you want a further explanation on proving that is exactly what Tone said is what you saw in the clip, go watch my Operation Down Ballot / Democrat Down Ballot explained to Morpheus Unplugged by Antonio Moore video. Go watch that video, but I'm just playing it again just to drive the point home that you heard what he said. So without further ado, I'm going to play another clip from Yvette and Tone, where you can hear Yvette now explaining, or not even explaining, but Yvette and Tone, and my apologies, fam. But you can hear Yvette and Tone further explaining the down ballot strategy. So you just heard Antonio Moore give you his explanation. Now you're going to hear Yvette and Tone giving their explanation at the ADOS conference. Now, just to be full disclosure about the chronological order, Tone said what you saw in the clip just now after he said what I'm about to play right now. The reason why I'm playing them out of order, meaning that the first clip that was played that you already saw happened after this clip, is because I tried to take a clip off this video, but I've been having a lot of technical difficulties with it. So I'm just going to have to play the audio. But this is an audio from Tone Talks channel, ADOS Conference Highlights, Dr. Cornel West, Marion Williamson, and Voting Down Ballot Explained. What I'm probably going to do also is I'm going to provide links to the videos that I used in this video, just so you can go and double check your own sources, or double check me in case you think I'm taking something out of context or whatever. Obviously, I don't have the time to play the whole video. But anyway, again, you just heard Tone say it. Voting down ballot means that you consistently vote Democrat unless you've done your research, which means that if you have not done your research, you vote Democratic automatically, blindly. Now let's hear Tone and Yvette explain the Democratic down ballot strategy at the ADOS conference. So here we go.
We have to stand on our square, and we have said in no uncertain terms that politics is an exchange. It's not a gift. So what that means, we're not just going to stay at home. What that means is that we have decided that we're voting down ballot. Democratic. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help, whether it's your local city councilman, local state lawmaker, local dog catcher, whatever. They need you to come out and vote. But we're not voting for these national Democrats if they're not going to give us our due. They still got time. They can still come around. But if they don't show up to the polls, Get your sticker, but vote down ballot.
Can we actually pull up, if we still have it from my speech, poll 2? I want to pull that back up. Because if you recall, even if they don't pull up poll 2, I showed you that white folks have been voting Republican for 50 years. We, on the other hand, have been voting 90% Democrat for 50 years. Now, the reason I'm saying that to you is because now is the time, as I've shown you from the data, where we need to exact the exchange. So while they're chasing the ghost of white voters, they about to be missing some black ones. So today, Adolf, our position is to vote down ballot, which means vote Democrat on everything down ballot. If these candidates can't come forward and read the ADOS 101 agenda.
So y'all just heard that. So now y'all have heard 2. Y'all saw the clip at the beginning of this video. Now y'all just heard Tone and Yvette explaining at the conference that we're going to vote Democrat, pretty much assuming that we're going to vote Democrat. Now, of course, in Tone's video, he provided the small caveat that it's unless you've done your research. But if you haven't done your research, you're still going to assume Democrat. So overall, the overall strategy is to assume Democrat, yes, unless you've done your research. But if you haven't, that means you're going to go out and vote blindly for Democrats, which is dangerous, and it removes our leverage because we're announcing that we're going to support Democrats blindly for the most part. Now, y'all want to nitpick and hyper-focus on the fact that he said do your research because that's y'all looking for an out from what he said. But it doesn't change what he said about how we need to vote Democrat down ballot for the most part. Unless we have that small caveat. Which is why I went on in several other videos about how if he meant do your research on every single candidate, he should have said that instead of saying on multiple occasions, him and Yvette, Democrat down ballot. That's causing confusion. And if you can't admit that, you're not serious on my channel, and I'm probably going to have to block you. If you can't admit to that simple fact, because that means that you're not here for constructive conversation, which is why I made the constructive discourse videos and my maintaining integrity videos. You have to be willing to be honest in order for us to have a fair conversation. So if you are not willing to admit that Tone failed by calling it Democrat down ballot on multiple occasions instead of do your research, you trying to hyper-focus on the do your research stuff just tells me that you're trolling and that you're not serious, and I'm going to block you off my channel. Now, I'm saying that to say and to play one more clip. So y'all just heard those 2 clips about vote Democrat, just assume Democrat. Y'all heard that twice now. So let's play another clip.
And against people. And if you vote in the primary, what state you're in will depend on what kind of ballot you get and what kind of rules they have for independence or whatever you're doing. But even outside of the candidates, I have a hard time believing that there's not one candidate. I don't care whether it's your local town commissioner. I don't care who it is. I find it hard believing there's not somebody that deserves your vote on there. Not one person. Not one person, but even if there's not one person, and some of this stuff isn't nearly as sexy as this stuff, like marijuana, we all know about that. Some of this stuff is just like a tax hike on the turkey farms or the whatever. And you're like, what? That happened to me one time. I thought I had went through the whole list of the ballot measures, and I went through most of them, and I got there, and there was one on there talking about chickens or something, and I was like, oh, I don't know, what is this? I had to play and look at my phone and figure, because I had all the rest of them, I didn't have this one. It's all kind of tax measures and little stuff, and a lot of it is sneaky. If you look at it, some of the stuff be real sneaky. They be trying to smooth in there on you with the taxes and raise tax for $5 for blah, 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 blah. So, or lower the tax for $10, blah, 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 and they'll tell you what the $10 that they taking it from. So, what I'm saying is that there is more on the ballot than candidates. And it makes no sense to opt out before you be. First of all, if you're going to opt out, and not show up. Can you at least wait until the ballot for your district or whatever is available? You don't even know what's on there yet. You don't even know what measures are on there that have nothing to do with any of the candidates. You don't even know what candidates on there probably, knowing half of y'all who show up in my comment. You don't know who's gonna be on there. Your neighbor across the street could be running, and you might be like, I love my neighbor. He's about he real. You don't know. Like, at least wait until the ballot is here and look and go all the way down. Go all the way down and see what it looks like. Don't opt out.
So y'all just heard that clip. So that's from our Yvette Antone, Shills for the Democrats. That's from that video. That's around the 51-minute mark if you want to find exactly where I was playing from. Now, y'all heard those first two clips. And y'all heard this clip I just played where Yvette was talking about don't opt out. Now, my question to Yvette is, Yvette, you just admitted that we don't have a ballot. We haven't seen anything. First of all, let me address this. It's a straw man to say that we are just going to automatically not vote no matter what. I've already addressed that. We've already made it clear we are not voting unless somebody on the ballot, on our individual ballot, because we're all going to have different ballots because we live in different areas outside of the national, which is only the president, because even your congressman is kind of exclusive to your area. Yes, it's more widespread than your local city, but even a congressman or a senator is more of a local than a national, because if I'm in California, I can't vote for a congressman in Atlanta. If I'm in Atlanta, I can't vote for a congressman in California. So those are not really national. Even though it's a quote-unquote national position, it is not a national vote. It is a local ballot vote as far as who your congressman is that's going to represent you in the national federal government. So for the most part, especially if you're not clarifying who you're talking about as far as top ballot, you're only talking about the president. And it's a straw man to say that we are saying that no matter what, no matter who's on the ballot, no matter what's proposed, we're not voting. We're saying we are not voting unless there's a black agenda. And from what we can see so far, no one is going to come with a black agenda. So that means most likely we're not going to vote. That's what that means. And that's what we've been saying. And to say anything else is a straw man. So now that Yvette has talked about how we don't even know what's on the ballot, which is true. We don't know what's on the ballot yet. Also know that when she talked about ballot measures, again, as I pointed out, none of these have anything to do with a black agenda. Y'all just heard her talking about a turkey farm and a chicken tax and all of this stuff. None of this has anything to do with a black agenda. And I've already talked about how that's a slippery slope, because if we're voting for policies that affect us, regardless of whether or not those policies have a black agenda, you can take that all the way across the board and start voting for Bernie Sanders, because it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a black agenda, his student loan forgiveness affects you. It doesn't matter if he has a black agenda, his Medicare for all affects you. You cannot tell me that you cannot use that same logic to go and vote for ballots, that you cannot turn around and use that same logic to vote for Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. And I've already had several, some of whom I've blocked and deleted because I've already warned you about that kind of trolling on my channel. I've already had several ADOS supporting people who were defending Yvette Carnell announce to me that they were going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Two people I haven't blocked, and I'm going to name them just so I can give you proof. One person who keeps showing up on my channel, his name is Rock Lee. He's an Yvette Carnell supporter. He's voting for Bernie Sanders. Another guy who keeps showing up on my channel, his name is Jermaine Woods. He has shown up on my channel supporting Bernie Sanders. A woman I've blocked, some old woman named Joy Bunton. She's an Yvette Carnell supporter. She said that she's voting for Bernie. So I already have evidence that people who are defending the down ballot strategy are going to vote for the president and all the way down the ballot. And I gave you the names of some of the people. Now, because I've called them out, they may try to go back and delete the comments. But I'm going to try to hurry up and get screenshots before I upload this video so that I can have the proof in case they try to go back and delete their comments announcing that they were going to support Bernie Sanders. And these are the same people voting down ballot, which further proves my point that her babble about ballot initiatives and things that have nothing to do with a black agenda are giving people an opening to vote for Bernie Sanders. and other Democrats that is completely off code and political suicide, because I've already shown in those clips how Yvette and Tone have already said on multiple occasions that Democrat down ballot means vote for the Democrats down the ballot. Assume that they are your friends. And I already talked about that little do your research distraction. If you want to keep being dishonest about that and trolling and using straw men, I'm just going to have to block you because you're being intellectually dishonest. So the question is to Yvette, how can we decide that we're already going to vote Democrat with no, if you have not abandoned the black agenda, Yvette, how can we have already decided that we're going to vote Democrat down ballot if we haven't even seen the ballot yet? At least wait until we see the ballot so we know who has a black agenda. And I was kind of trying to do an imitation of Yvette's voice there. But at least wait till we're going to see the ballot. How you gonna vote and you don't even know the candidates? You don't even know who has a black agenda. How you gonna vote? How you gonna already opt in to the Democrats and you don't even know if any of them are gonna offer a black agenda? How you gonna opt into the Democrats? We don't even have the ballot yet. At least wait till we get the ballot and then go all the way down the ballot and see who has a black agenda. Why hasn't Yvette done that? Why are her and Tone already opting into the Democrats and instructing people to assume that the Democrats are your friends if you haven't done your research? Why is she saying that? And so that's why this video is titled Part 2 of what happened to the ADOS Black Agenda. Because I want to know what happened. Why is all these ballot measures about chicken taxes that you're talking about have nothing to do with a black agenda? Why is and again, check my sources. Why is every ballot initiative she talked about in that video have nothing to do with a black agenda? It looks like a slippery slope and a Democratic shill sheepdog tactic. And again, go watch my other videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. You need to go back and educate yourself if anything I've said has gone over your head. Before you want to come and argue with me about what I'm saying in this video, go watch every other video and show and demonstrate that you have watched every other video in its entirety. Otherwise, if you come saying some stuff that I've already addressed or already explained, I'm going to be forced to block you with no explanation. Because I'm tired of the trolling. I am tired of it. But anyway, fam, that's my question. What happened to the ADOS Black Agenda? Why are so many people like Rock Lee, Jermaine Woods, Joy Bunton? I had to delete that last woman, Joy Bunton. I deleted and blocked her because she wrote an epic chapter of babble on my channel. But those other two people, I've left their comments up. So the only way you wouldn't find them is if they go back and delete them. Tell me why, and they are not the only ones. There have been other people who have been showing up on my channel besides those three. But I've deleted and blocked most of those people because I considered them trolling. Coming out talking about Bernie Sanders and these are the same people telling me that Yvette is not telling them to vote for Bernie Sanders or the Democrats. Yet every person or a lot of the people who are defending down ballot are voting Democrat, and Yvette is giving them all the openings and all the outs to have an excuse to vote for Bernie Sanders or or vote for Democrats down ballot, because of the excuses she has given them about how you need to vote for these policies that affect you, whether or not they have a black agenda, which is not what Yvette said before. She said before that it's nice to have these other policies, but you owe the descendants of slaves first. And if you don't pay us back first, we can't have all these other policies. So then why is she then turning around and encouraging her followers to vote for these other policies, whether or not they have a black agenda and whether or not they have paid the descendants of slaves what they are owed first? None of it makes sense to me, and it's all double talk. And you people who keep coming up trying to come up with excuses as to why it's not double talk, none of you have offered me a substantive rebuttal. It's only been trolling and babble and excuses of why you're supporting Bernie as an individual, which further brings up red flags about the type of person that is backing this down ballot strategy and the kind of miseducation that is coming out of Yvette Carnell's camp and her channel and Tone Talks channel. But anyway, fam, this is just another quick angry rant. I'm frustrated. I'm fed up. But anyway, I just want to know what happened to the ADOS Black Agenda. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.